Okay, I'm going to go over what I do on Discord to keep myself sane. I'm going to do this by showing first what my settings are for my account, and then just joining a random server that I might join, and going through that process. For Discord generally, I sync my account settings. Very rarely I might unsync a computer settings if I have the settings like kind of geared towards that kind of computer, but generally they're all the same. Firstly, you can see that I'm deafened. It's just nice to have that just at all times, so that it's more of I press a button if I'm gonna do some sort of streaming or talking, and then I just generally keep it off. What was that? I guess first I'll talk about how I don't think I've messed with the display all that much, but I have don't show roll colors enabled, and I'm thinking about going back to the default. I switched to this. I mostly want to point this out because it'll become very noticeable. But I switched to this a long time ago, back when people still kind of use roll colors to indicate roles. Nowadays it seems that people want to just set their name to whatever color they want for aesthetics, and I kind of support that. I hated that at first, but in the world of you can't customize your experience at all, I think that's probably one of the best uses for roles, honestly, because I think roles and role colors can be very useful in certain servers. Like, I am in a hacking server where someone's name color tells you if they're a musician, or if they're a hardware hacker, or if they're a software guy. And that's very useful if you're talking to a bunch of people to know what kind of person you're talking to when you're asking questions. But a lot of the servers I've been in don't handle roles in a smart way, and for a time I was in at least one server, and not multiple servers, where role colors were kind of being used to be really divisive and create kind of like stratification that I just didn't like. I didn't want to, it became information I wanted to not know. And also sometimes people set up role colors that are just really, really ugly. So I decided to turn it off, and it ended up making my Discord experience way, way better. But nowadays, people just don't really use role colors in that way anymore. So, and I like being able to customize my name color. I think that's cool. So I might turn it back on. Oh, I can't imagine a lot of you people would find this useful, but I like having the choice to animate, like any kind of video. I want the option to, when it gets to play, I want it to play when I touch it, and only play once, only play once. I have to hit the button to restart it. So no matter what application I'm using, I put this on. But that's more of a me being weird thing, because I'm really sensitive to video, especially looping video. It drives me crazy really easily. I also don't like having a video auto start and I miss like the first 3 seconds. I have to replay it because the audio was off. I'm kind of surprised I don't have enabled reduced motion. For a lot of apps I do that, but I guess Discord isn't that bad. I do like animated emoji though. But the thing is, here on Discord, the default emojis are not animated, and they're so small, so it doesn't bother me. I actually really like it. I don't think. Oh, you can turn off stick list and autocomplete. I think I got grandfathered into this because I never noticed it in the first place. I think the biggest one is probably notifications, right? It's weird. Some Discord applications don't allow you to pick 24-hour if you pick English or US. It's very strange to me. If you find yourself having that issue and you're an English speaker, go to the UK, I think it is, and it will force 24-hour time. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, no desktop notifications. No unread message badge. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, that's new. I remember this happening to me and being not sure what to make of it, but I don't mind it. Yeah, no email notifications, I guess, except announcements. It's funny that this is enabled because I haven't gotten any, or this. Maybe it's bugged. There's a lot less default settings in here than I expected. Like, I thought maybe, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, so that's my default on my account settings. So let's join a server. Let's do a Japanese language server. All right. Create account. Oh yeah, I tend to use on a desktop. I tend to use the web version. It just, for a while, it had more settings than any of the applications. I don't know if that's true anymore, but the application version for Arch Linux is really slow. And it's really, I haven't been able to resize the windows. Like, resize like this. So like what I want. And Discord, the web version, I haven't really had any issues. I think once I had some trouble streaming, so I do open up the desktop client for streaming, but I guess I'm not logged in. Hold on, I gotta open Discord on my phone. I love this way of logging in. I basically, whenever I'm at a cafe, like a library or a like a gaming cafe, I use that because then I don't have to do. Usually I have two-factor whatever on all my accounts that I want to use at a gaming, like a public computer. But I don't have to check my email if I don't have to. Okay, alright, we're here. First things first. Okay, I thought you could change what the default of this was in your account, but I didn't notice it. But yeah, this is what my default is, only mentions. That's great. That's the only time I want someone pinging me. Usually I end up, for big servers, end up toggling this on. Just because there's basically no point for these two. If you want to tag everyone, the only person I want give me a red badge, because he wants to talk to everybody, is the admins. And admins basically only do that when they're giving announcements. And as you can see, this server has an announcements channel. And I just have way more control over that than an everyone ping. And it's also it's just a way more useful way to handle announcements, because you can go back and look through, and it's self-explanatory, I think. And then there's here. Here kind of makes sense if you're the kind of person who... Actually, here doesn't make sense to me either. Because, like, if I'm in... The only time I spend time on a Discord hanging out is because they have a chit-chat channel. I don't know if this place has a chit-chat channel. It seems kind of sleepy. It might be something like this. Like, often it's general, or like just a chat channel that's usually, like, very, like, fast. Like, people just going through message after message. I generally don't hang out in channels like that, because I generally don't hang out on Discord. I treat it more like a forum where I open it up to send a message to somebody or say something specific in a certain server, and at the same time check my red badges, like I have two over here, or check on a topic. But sometimes I do go to a server just to hang out. If I'm in a server if I'm in a channel just to hang out, then why do I care about someone being able to red badge me? Because I'm here. I'm already here. I'm already in the channel. I'm already seeing every single message. Like, I'm tabbing out to look at other stuff, but coming back, seeing the red line where it says new messages and catching up. Or maybe not. Maybe I don't want to catch up. But if that's the case, I don't know. I just don't see the purpose of here. I can see how it could be maybe useful, but what basically happens is I remember that these are enabled because someone randomly uses it for something really stupid. And I'm like, well, I don't want that to happen again. I'm gonna go here. It's so rare though. I usually don't do this by default because I just don't think to do it. I like keeping this on though. I think role mentions are amazing, and I wish more servers would do it. Like, to be able to ping, like using that hacking server I talked about earlier, being able to ping all musicians or the SNES and asking them a question about that, or asking if anyone wants to help me on my game or whatever. I think that's really cool. This makes sense for me to turn on, but I've never seen it. I've never seen a highlight in Discord, so maybe it's broken. It's funny that this is on, because... Oh no, right. I think I have... Right, I never actually have any generic chat go to notifications. It's just ats and DMs. That's why I keep this enabled. Okay, so I'm here. I read the rules, because that's what you do. And then I look at what we have here. Luckily, there's not a lot of stuff to go through. So we have the information. An information category is pretty much always a mute category. Because in my day-to-day of using this, I don't need this, and I don't want anything going on here to do a white bubble. This is just a manual check only. But it does have announcements here. So depending on whether I care about the announcements, like we see here, Japanese singing class starting soon. That seems like something that I should get a subscription to. And it looks like they do have a ping specifically for this. So I feel in general announcements aren't, what's the word? Time sensitive. But at the same time, because I guess this is a reason to not suppress everyone. It's because some servers have an announcement channel where and most of what they post is just generic announcements or like specific group pings. Like this has no ping, it's just an announcement. That's really responsible of them. But then for like really important time sensitive announcements, they'll do an at everyone. And when that happens, even though this category is muted, and therefore I can't see it, I will get a red badge here, and I know to click on it and check what the really important announcement is. A good information section also, theoretically you shouldn't have to mute because there's not going to be any channels that allow you to post, but as you see here, they have an introduction channel. I don't want to get I don't want any kind of notification. And when I say notification here, I mean any kind of notification, like white badge, red badge, toast pop-up. I basically don't ever get pop-ups, so like my only notifications are white dots and red badges. So if I say just a notification, then just kind of assume, I'm probably talking about a white dot. I don't need any notifications for introductions. This is the kind of thing that I go to because I want to search a specific person. Oops. Like I want to search a specific, like, I hate how you did this. A specific person in introduction so I can, oh, that's terrible. There's people actually having conversations in introduction. That's like great. Because I want to find this person's introduction. And there it is, right here. So yeah, roles don't need anything. So yeah, I'll probably keep that. I'll keep that muted. I don't know what these are. They are locked, so I guess I need a very specific role for that. What's this? Oh, this is a forum. It looks like it is just information. Wow, that's. I guess you can use forums that way to have an information channel that is got pages. That's kind of cute. But again, this shouldn't. I like muting things I know that I don't need notifications for, even though it's not likely. Like it'd be weird to have a notification here. I guess it'd mean there's something changed, but I'm not that much of a snoop. Unless if I need to know something, then I don't care. And if I need to know something, someone's gonna tell me directly. Okay, I did not even notice. Wait, how am I in here if I don't have permission? Weird. Okay. Community. Another forum, ask a question. Okay, so something like this. We got community, so this is the main place that people are talking. And then over here, we have more specific places that are if you have specific questions. So if I'm really focusing on grammar, I will probably mute these and leave this unmuted because I want to keep posted on here. And I might stay unmuted until maybe it's popping off too much and I want to check this less often, because anything that I get a white dot on here is going to get a white dot here. And my goal is that I click on any server that has a white or a red dot, and I check the channels that have white dots. And if I click on a server here because it has a white dot and I feel like I'm wasting my time, then my management is bad. That said, some servers I feel like I want lots of white dots on the actual server page, because when I do check the things I want to check, what's a good example? Let me find a public server. Yeah, let's do explosions and fire. There's no white dots here. That's because this is not a server that I don't want to keep track of. So when I click on here, you can see most things are muted, but we have a couple things jumping out. I haven't been here a long time. Like, this is a place where like I actually do want to know what the rule changes are. But then you also have stuff like, yeah, Science General. I just like reading. I just like perusing. And if there's no new messages, then there should be no white dot, and there should no. It's less. When I have it set up this way, it's less that these are the things I need to read, and more these are the things that I can read. Anything else in here, I have muted because I don't care about the topic, or I'm only going to click on it. Like, I'm only going to click on chemtrails and safety when I want to have a laugh. And if there's no new posts, then that's whatever. Then I'll go click on something else. Yeah. So, but let's say I really want to visit this place like once a day. Or I want to be proactive in a community where people are also learning, and I know enough Japanese where I want to help them with their queries or hear what people who are more knowledgeable about me have to say here and there. So yeah, generally is a mute because well, it depends. This looks very slow, so this is not going to be a mute. Although we have a suspicious amount of just New Year posting and not any other posting, nuggets. This is going to be a server that I'm not sure about, because either I'm going to check this channel for its white bubble and it's just going to be someone saying hello, or can someone help me with my homework? It'll be a waste of time. Or it'll be actually someone having a cool question. If I spend a week with this server on my list and all the messages in that week are just people saying hello or konnichiwa, then this is going to get muted. But ask a question. That seems more interesting, because that's where people actually have a goal. They're not trying to chit chat. They actually want to talk about something specific to Japanese. So that's going to stay unmuted until I get enough white dots on this channel, on this forum, I guess that's what's called in Discord, that are just the same question over and over again. It looks like things are pretty high quality. These are all very different looking. Oh, Japanese only, definitely a chit chat channel. Absolutely does not need to have white dots at all. Because, like, yeah, I'm going here to practice. Server bump definitely doesn't need any white dots. Useless information. Like, this is the kind of channel where if I, as a server admin, I would want to be able on my side to like set default off. Because who wants that info? But yeah, something I should mention is muting a category, in case you don't know, it doesn't apply a mute to all the channels. Like look, these are all the regular gray color instead of the muted gray color. Like I can still individually mute stuff. What this does is that when it's collapsed, because when I collapse community, let me see if I can, do I have another server? No, let's go back to explosions and fire. If I collapse, see bulletin board is this section. I collapse bulletin board. Oh wait, no, that's a muted category. Okay, this category is not muted. These are all muted, but this isn't. So when I collapse this channel, the not muted channel that has a white dot appears. And you can see the difference. Bulletin board is a muted board. So even though that there's a channel that have a white dot here, if I collapse it, you can't see it. Muting the board, the category, all it does is it prevents the white dots from bubbling up. And in Discord, it's not even that the white dot goes on the title, it just makes the channel appear. It's very, very useful if you want to clean up, like if you don't like all this text, then what you do is you collapse everything after you figure out what should be muted and what shouldn't be. And then when you go to your server, you get this nice abbreviated list. Speaking of which, time to point out, a lot of servers have an introduction when you join where they ask you what you're into, and they don't tell you after you finish doing a quiz like, oh, I'm here for games, and I am a big chatter instead of a small chatter, and I'm totally here for voice chatting. That after you do all these little selections, and they do those the little slideshow questions, that little poll when you first join, they don't tell you what they do is that changes what channels are visible. But it's not like this where it's collapsed or muted. It's just the list is different. Like the list of what you can see and interact is just different. I don't like that. I feel like that's too, you're throwing in a whole second system for dealing with channel management that is like on top of your other fully adequate system. I can understand wanting to clean up this further and just like have the not channels be here. But my problem is that once you start doing that, you, like for me, I kind of forget that the channel exists. So let me find another example. My birding group. Yeah, this hit, I think this, do I have all the channels? Okay, so I do have stuff hidden. This was my experimental channel, and I totally forgot that there was a section for non-bird pictures and random and games. And that made me sad because I reached a point where I wanted to share something with the birding friends, and I went to the channel list, and I was like, oh, but this is all birding channels, so I can't post this thing that's not bird related. So I didn't, and I totally forgot that people had been posting that stuff like this whole time. So I'd rather just have the full list at all times, because then when you expand the categories, like you still know. Because whether or not you use a channel, other people are, and it's really jarring if someone references a channel that like to you in your mind doesn't exist. So yeah, I think some channels also just like, I'm not certain about this, but I think some servers also, like the default will hide certain channels and not tell you. Like the whole thing is just so opaque. So like if you want to make sure that you are, let's say app directory, no, not app directory, what am I doing? Where am I? I think there's an actual setting. It's under server info. Oh no, wait, that's a mod. I've just gone to mods. All I'm saying it applies to default Discord. Is it notification settings? Right. No, it's not this, is it? I think so. I thought there was like a pop-up that shows you the full list if you have anything hidden. But I don't know where it is. It might be a mobile difference. Oh, and the other thing too is before the okay, so it looks like this okay. It looks like this server doesn't have any channels that can be turned off. But you can see in the birding server, there's a show all channels button. So channels can be turned off, and I think it's funny, you can't select it from the context menu. You have to, is it this? No, per server photo. I don't remember where you can mess with this. I could have sworn it was a menu, but it might be, if your server has this, it might be this. Oh, I think I'm thinking of this, where like this is the quiz, and then this is the full list that you can change, and then follow category. I don't remember what it does, but like I said, I don't fuck with this. It's just them kind of trying to replace a different system with a shiny quote unquote better version, but it's a version that still doesn't prompt you to have a healthy relationship with notifications and yeah. So yeah, let's go back to Explosions of Fire. Yeah, there's no channel like that at the top, and no show all channels. But yeah, if you wanted to make channels disappear and not see them, like this was already here, hide muted channels. And this also has the benefit of like, you don't have to collapse and unclapse. If you have a non-muted channel, it's just always, I guess just always there. I used to do that for a while, but I like the option of being able to collapse and unclapse. I guess it also, again, depends on the server, and I'm very grateful that you can change it per server, that there are so many per server settings. It's like I wish you could customize so much more on the default Discord app. The fact that you can have channel role colors enabled and not get to pick for your side. Like, it's fine if the server gets to pick what they think the role color should be, but I should be able to. That would have solved my problem back when I was having trouble with role colors. And like, not for me, it was just an informational thing. There are people who are colorblind, who can't deal with the server colors. There are people who are sensitive to certain colors, like whether it's a visual thing or autistic thing. It just makes so much sense for there to be per server profiles customizing the role colors. You can even lock it behind a paid account, but Discord didn't care about my suggestion. I suggested this a billion years ago and they haven't done anything, so all the more reason to look into alternative clients. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I went through an example. With a really slow server, but I feel like it still applies. It's just that I get a faster sense of how I want my relationship with a server to be with a faster server. I guess the only thing I didn't mention is that sometimes I do, like, if a server's like, especially if a server's like a personal server, I might, especially if it's very slow. I'm in a personal server, it's a very slow, like I joined a server recently that is for a friend who streams, and I actually have, not just a journal unmuted, but I have it set to all messages. So I get a notification sound and bubble toast pop-up for anything said in that chat. And that's because for that server, everything said in that chat is time sensitive. Like if my buddy is posting, then I want to know right away, and I want to be a part of that very short conversation. Again, a personalization setting that's actually good in Discord is being able to have a default and being able to choose something outside of the default. Server by server, channel by channel, person by person. I love, right. What's a good server for this? I love being able to block people. Not just block people, but to have it so that they need my permission for me to look at whatever they're posting. Like, this guy says you're no fun. This guy is an inflammatory little kid. I sometimes want to know what they are saying based on what's the conversation's happening. So having a button to show is just so good. I know ignoring is now what the function for that, because it does this same thing, but it allows that person to message you and they can't tell that you've been blocked. But I don't like it when people can't tell when I put up like a wall. Like, isn't it so frustrating when you're talking to someone and they have headphones on and you assume that they weren't listening to music, but they totally were and they weren't paying attention to you at all? Like, at least with the headphones, you can see that they have the headphones on. So you should have made sure that they were actually listening to you. But if I have someone ignored on here, they just don't know that I don't see all their posts. I guess I could also just be ignoring them in real life. But I don't know. If I have a setting that I put in my software that blocks someone's posts, I'm much more happier if they know on the other side, and especially if we're talking about communication here. But yeah, it doesn't mean anything to block someone. It's just for your own sanity. I have like 300 people on my block list. It's great. Block anyone who posts stuff that is irritating for you to see. Or ignore. They're both fine, I think. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions about this, I might make a follow-up video or a post on my website. If this is on YouTube, don't put a comment. I'm not going to read them. Comments are for you guys to have fun with each other. If you want to actually ask me a question that I see, email me. I don't know if my email is on YouTube. I guess I'll post it in the description, but it should be on my website. So yeah, email me or whatever method of communication I post on my website is. Just use that and message me.